All right, let's talk about a name that doesn't just need an introduction, it is the introduction. A brand that basically defines performance, luxury, and that pure Italian passion. We're talking about Ferrari. So let's just start with a number, 53.5 million pounds. What on earth is that? Well, that's the jaw-dropping price somebody paid for a single car back in 2018. The car, a 1964 Ferrari 250 GTO. I mean, think about that. This isn't just a car, it's a piece of history that's valued more than a lot of famous works of art. And a price tag like that starts to make a little more sense when you hear how people describe the brand. It's, and I'm quoting here, ubiquitous with speed, power, performance, precision, and class. But that reputation wasn't just cooked up in a marketing meeting. It was earned inch by inch on the racetrack. So the big question is, how did they build this almost mythical status? And let's be super clear here, we're not just talking about horsepower. Back in 2014, Ferrari was actually rated the world's most powerful brand. Period. Not the most powerful car brand, the most powerful brand, full stop. That means its influence goes way beyond the world of cars. It's become a global symbol of excellence. Okay, so to really get it, we've got to go back all the way to the beginning. Because to understand Ferrari, you have to understand one crucial thing. Its soul was forged in the fire of the racetrack. And what's just nuts is how fast it all happened. The company was founded in '39, but it wasn't until 1947 that the very first car with that iconic prancing horse badge rolled out. But from that moment on, things just exploded, leading to an era in the 1960s where they were just completely dominant and racing. You can think of the 1950s as their laboratory. This is when they were just cranking out these absolute monsters for the track, tinkering, experimenting, and perfecting their craft. I mean, the 250 Testarossa became a legend all on its own, winning at Le Mans multiple times. That's how you cement a reputation, by building cars that can survive and win the toughest races in the world. So, that brings us to the 1960s. And this is where the story gets really good, because a bitter, personal rivalry helped lock in Ferrari's identity forever. This wasn't just business competition. This was an all-out war of philosophies. And at the absolute core of it all were two completely opposite goals. For Ford, winning races was just a tool, right? A way to sell more affordable cars to the average family. But for Ferrari? No way. For them, racing was the whole point. It was about proving they were the absolute best and cementing their status as a brand you couldn't just buy. You had to earn. They were from different planets. But here's the amazing side effect of this whole feud. It pushed both Ford and Ferrari to innovate like their lives depended on it. The technological leaps that were made in the 60s, all fueled by this burning desire to beat the other guy, were just incredible. Now let's jump forward a few decades. The man who started it all, Enzo Ferrari himself, he's getting older, and he's got one last very personal mission he needs to accomplish before his time is up. And this was the result. The iconic F40. It came out in 1987, and the reason it's so important, so legendary, is because it was the last car that Enzo personally oversaw. It wasn't just another model. This was his final statement, his swan song. And his vision for it was so simple and yet so incredibly ambitious. He wanted to create the finest car on the planet. That's it. The F40 was the embodiment of his entire life's work. Raw, uncompromising, and totally focused on performance. And you know what? A lot of people think he actually pulled it off. So let's tie this all together. How does all of that rich, dramatic history connect back to the insane values we saw at the beginning? Why are these cars worth so much? Well, it really comes back to this car, the 250 GTO. It was born right in the heat of that battle with Ford, and for collectors, it is the holy grail. It represents that perfect moment of racing dominance, breathtaking beauty, and extreme rarity. It's not just a car, it's a trophy from a golden age. And the auction block tells the whole story. I mean, just look at these prices. A 57 Scaglietti going for 26 million pounds, a 250 GTO Berlinetta for 29 million, and this 1962 GTO for a staggering 37 million pounds. And get this, that's not even the record breaker we started with. These numbers are more than just money. They're a visual scorecard for just how much we value history, victory, and pure legend. And don't think for a second that this is all just ancient history. That legacy, that DNA is alive and kicking today. Modern cars like the F8 Tributo are a direct tribute to the brand's incredible V8 engine history. And then you have the super exclusive Icona series, cars like the Monza, which are literally modern-day versions of classic Ferrari designs. They never forget their past, they just use it to build the future. So it kind of leaves you with this one big question, right? What makes a machine a masterpiece? Is it just the performance? Is it the history? The vision of the person who created it? In Ferrari's case, it seems to be that rare, perfect storm of all three. It's an amazing story of how passion, fierce rivalry, and a relentless chase for perfection can turn simple metal into a timeless legend.